Okay, so I had a few people ask me how I did the animation on my matrix annotation. So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. Um, I think part of it's going to base on just however you feel the most comfortable. If you have the keyboard to write in Hebrew, this one might be ideal for you. If you don't, I'll show you another way we can kind of get around it. But if you watch the first annotation that I did, I had smaller lines connecting each one of the letters in my terms. I decided to go ahead and delete that because it kind of started getting a little bit busy, but this is just an example of what it'll look like. Ignore these pieces over here because they actually have not been added yet, and looks like this part didn't either. But so this is how it'll look. It's where you can add just one term at a time and just kind of go all the way around the table. Another way that you can do it is like this. This one, obviously, it's a much smaller table, just for the sake of showing you, but it's basically the same thing, only here we're taking snippets and just putting highlighted boxes over each one. The first time you do the annotation, or the animation on the annotation, is going to be the most difficult, but after you've done whatever way you feel most comfortable, it'll be a lot easier because then you can kind of copy and paste over to your new annotations, and I will show you how to do that as well. So I'm going to start with this one just because it is the easier of the two. So I'm going to act like I opened up a new one because I don't want to get rid of that one just yet. You're going to go to File, one that you already want to work on, or Presentation. Like I said, I'm already in mine, so usually this will pop up. You just go ahead and highlight it and then delete, highlight, and delete. So if you've already saved your snippets, then this will be easy. If not, I'll show you how to do that. So for everybody's computer, I think is different, but mine, I have a Windows. It's the Windows key, Shift, and S. Okay, and then this little tool pops up, and I'm just going to select whatever piece that I want to take with me. So it's going to pop up over here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go ahead and save it somewhere where I can pull it up later. I actually already have it right here, so I'm not going to save this one. And same thing with your report. Pull up your report, Windows, Shift, S, and go ahead and take whatever you're wanting to take with you. Like I said, I've done that, so I'm not going to do that again. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and insert our picture here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this one again just to show you. And I'm going to insert my actual matrix. So just grab the corners, resize it to however you want. Your tables will obviously be a bit bigger because this is, like I said, a much smaller table, but this is just how I'm going to show you quickly. So for this one, basically all you're going to do is you're going to go right here to shape. I would also suggest getting comfortable using your zoom in and zoom out, because you're kind of going to want to put those things right on top. So also try not to grab your image to move around. Use the bars, because once you put your shapes on here, you'll move your background around your shapes. I'll just show you that real quick. So I'm going to take my shape, whatever shape you're wanting. For right now, I'm just going to be highlighting my terms, so I'm going to pick this one. Oops. Okay, and I'm just going to do that. So now we don't want to leave it as a solid blue, so I'm going to come up here, and my first is going to be red, fill to be red, but I don't want it a solid color, so you go here to more colors. I'm going to do red, and I want it to be transparent, so I'm going to go at about almost 75. So that way I can still see the words underneath, and then you can resize this to fit it however you need to. And again, if you're wanting to make things like super perfect, which obviously it doesn't have to be, but that's where the zoom comes in handy. But like I said before, if you see you move that, it'll just mess everything up. So you can come up here to the top, if you ever happen to do that, and just go back. Okay, so there's my number one. Now I'm going to want this circle shape, so I'm going to go back up to Insert, go back to Shapes, and I'm going to grab the circle, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. We'll take care of that later. So again, I can come up here and do the same thing I did here. Make it red. And you can also right-click it. Go to more fill colors, and I want it close enough. Okay, so now that I have these two here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this again. I'm going to go to Animations, and I'm going to click Appear. So now over here, sometimes the animation pane won't show up, so you just go up here. If it doesn't, click it, and it'll pull it over here. So now this is animated now, and it's going to appear when I click. That's what this little button here means. I'm going to click it or push my arrows, and it's going to appear when I click the button. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Come up here. You have plenty of options that you can add to it, but I personally just like the appear. So now that one is annotated. Now you see how they both have their own click. So if I were to go here, it will do it one at a time, but I want them to go both at the same time. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to finish these first. You can right click, hit copy, right and hit paste. And then just go ahead and move it to each one. So because it was already animated when I copied it, it also animated the next one. You can also do Control-C for copy, or Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste, and you can just do it that way. Oops. Okay, we'll just come over here. And you see how these are kind of not directly on it, so I can zoom in and perfect it a little bit. I also kind of want this line to be a little bit thicker, so I'm going to go here to Outline, to the weight, and I'm going to choose that one. I like that a little bit better. Okay, just going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Right click, go to Outline, weight of the line, just like that. Same thing, weight. Okay, now I'm going to Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste. I'm just going to move each one of them. Again, Control-V, and just keep going. Control-V. There we go. Okay, so now that I have, hold on one second, go ahead and turn it off. Okay, so now that I have all of these, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I want these all to come in on the same click, not 8 different clicks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the first one, and I'm going to go to 2. I'm going to hit Shift and down arrow so I can highlight all of these. Then I'm going to do a right click and hit Start with Previous. All of these ones are going to go with this click, and I'll show you what that looks like now. So it'll start off with nothing on it, I can either click my mouse or I can hit the arrow buttons and it'll highlight whatever one I just did. So that's how you do that one. Once you've already done each one of these, so now I have this, I can go ahead and copy and paste, and now I have this one here. So instead of keeping it red, obviously I want it to be the next color, which is green, so I'm going to go to here, here, again, you can right click, do the outline, and I'm also going to thicken up these lines, just because I think it kind of looks a little bit better. Alright, here we go. So, same thing, now this is, a square, so once again I'm going to come back over here to shapes, and I'm going to make a square. There we go. Do my shape outline, I want it green, green. You can also right click. I want this, and I want this to be transparent. There we go. So once I have it, again, I'm going to highlight, actually, before you do that, I'm going to highlight it, animate, and appear. So there we go. And then Control C, Control V, and just place them everywhere where you want them to go. Oops. Anytime you mess up, just hit that back button and correct your mistake. Okay, and my last one. Right there. And again, I don't want them all to appear one by one, so I'm going to shift and down arrow, click, start with previous. So now all of those that have the 2 next to it will appear second click. Again, highlight, Control C, Control V, and move it down to the next one. Be blue, so we'll do blue. Put it just like that, and there we go. Again, another shape, so insert shape. This one is kind of rounded, and there we go. Again, we want the blue, but we also want the blue that is transparent. Close enough. Okay. Now once I have it, I'm going to highlight it, go back to animation, and appear. Now we can highlight it again, Control C, Control V, and place them where they need to go. Control V. Okay. There we go. Same thing, come over here, shift, down arrow, right click, start with previous. So now you're getting the idea. This each one of these is going to go, and we've quickly animated each one. So just like once you've started these ones, the shapes, if they start overlapping, start to change and the colors change, so that way you can kind of differentiate between the different letters in your terms. Once you've done it, like over here, I've already say this was a completely different table. Well, I could take from over here, and you could either do Control C again, or you can right click, hit copy, come over here and paste. So now I already have shape. I'm gonna zoom in because it came from a different table, so I'm gonna have to resize it, but there you go. So same thing, now it's got its own, this one obviously says 3, so it's going to back click. We don't want it to do that. We want it to have its own click, but we can always fix that later. Or we can actually we can fix that now. So we'll start that one on click. Same thing here. Control C, Control V, move it to where we want to go. And changers. There we go. Same thing here. Gotta do that outline again. Doesn't look like that one was thick. So there we go. And just do the same thing. Oops. Back up. Put that one where it goes. Control V again, and take my last one over here. Start here, shift, down arrow, right click, start with previous, and that's all you do. Like I said, once you get them down, you can copy and paste them, so you won't have to do this every single time. You'll basically just be changing the colors and finding your letters after that. So that one is the easiest one, I feel like, to do. This one, it's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit more work. In the beginning, I was writing it out. Afterwards, I kind of liked how, I mean, really, all I did was copy each one of these. Copy, paste. So I have a whole nother one here, and then I just, and then I would just crop it to be whatever I was wanting it to be. So if it's just the word parasite and I don't need, the skip, there we go. Click off of it. Now I can take this and copy and paste wherever I need it to go. So there we go. Obviously I already have that one in this table, but that was just, just for sake of showing you. Same thing with these lines. All this is a simple shape. Just a line. So you would go here and you would connect whatever you're needing to whatever you're needing, and same thing as the rest of them. If I want my outline to be thicker, here it is. If I want it to be, whatever color, once it's there, you can move it around in any direction. And same thing with this. I'm going to highlight it, animate it, appear, and then just put wherever I want. If I want it to be, going with whatever click, I'll just add it to that one. And you can add them at any point in time. You can select these and put them anywhere you want. It's just about getting it started. Once you get it started, you can copy and paste everything. Like I said, it's simple. I hope I explained this well enough. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to contact me. All right.